Welcome to the Top Shelf Literary Editions. This is episode 2. We're talking about books from my top shelf that I've either read or just want to share with you. I'll select a book at random. I'll give you a short synopsis and the reason I purchased it and a review if I've read it. Much like we did with the DVD series. My name is Ernest Whiteman III. I'm a Northern Arapaho filmmaker, artist, writer, and media educator. And this is to help me sort of keep track of what's in my book collection, but also sort of to remind me of why I write myself. I'm writing a novel that I hope to share with you soon. And for the second edition, we will talk about James Baldwin's If Beale Street Could Talk. It's a book set in the early 70s about a young African-American couple, Fonnie and Tish. At the beginning of the story, Fonnie is imprisoned. He's falsely accused of rape, but while he's on the inside, Tish has to announce to him and to her family and his family that she is pregnant with his child. And it goes through their courtship. It goes through them trying to attain housing for their marriage. And of course, this being the early 70s in Harlem, and them being a young African-American couple, they encounter a lot of prejudice and racism in the systemic areas of housing and the justice system. And now much of the story is about them trying to raise money to post bail for Fonnie so he can get out and be there for his child's birth. But it's also trying to figure out, help the lawyer build their case for Fonnie's innocence. And they do that, but the system keeps pushing back the hearings. And at one point, Tish's mother travels to try to convince the witness to recant her story because she was sort of coerced into identifying Fonnie. And it's a really powerful book. It's considered one of Baldwin's easier reads. Of course, I bought this after I saw the film. The film is very touching. It's very heartbreaking as well. And after I saw it, I figured I need to get some James Baldwin in my collection. So I also bought this at the same time. This is just a transcript of the documentary I Am Not Your Negro by Raoul Peck. Has a lot of Baldwin's powerful words in there. But this was the book I was interested in, and it's a very good read. And there's some debate about how it ends in the film. It's very, the ending was changed to reflect contemporary issues of the justice system. In the movie, Fonnie takes a plea deal and is imprisoned, and later on meets his son as an older man, or a relatively older man. In this, they've just gathered the money to get Fonnie out as Tish begins to give birth. And while she's giving birth, she sees a vision of Fonnie being free while the child is crying. But I don't think Fonnie was set free by the end of the book. There's some other surprises in there as well. And all of this is a struggle of many things, not only the prejudices of housing and the systemic racism in the justice system, but it's also about the fractures of the African-American community as Tish's family, who are very loving and supportive of her decision and of the daughter and of Fonnie, and Frank's father, who feels the same way, are always consistently butting heads with Fonnie's mother and sisters. And there's touches of, inner conflicts within the African-American community as well. So it is a very complicated book, or a complex book, not a complicated book. And I've enjoyed reading it. And there's this one passage towards the end as Fonnie is trying to find reason to his imprisonment. And it's starting to break him down. Then suddenly he realizes, and this passage actually brought me to tears when I first read it. I was on the train and tears start leaking after I read this passage. But then I went back and I read it again and I realized I really absolutely misinterpreted it. These captive men are the hidden price for the hidden lie. The righteous must be able to locate the damned. And I thought that was a beautiful turn of phrase, that the righteous must locate the damned. And for me, it was like, I saw it as the righteous must be able to like highlight or acknowledge the people who are considered damned. But in the context of this book, when Fonny is in prison, he's seeing all these fellow prisoners who have been brought in on the same sort of trumped up charge or brought in for no reason, and they're being really tortured and mentally put through mental anguish. And he realizes that him being an artist, it's up to him to sort of get to know these people and why they're here, and to expose the lie that it is the righteous who must find the damned, because that is a lie, because who is really righteous in this system and who are really the damned. And he's sort of inversing that the damned must call out the righteous for their hypocrisy. And I found that to be a very moving way to find, reason in Fonny's imprisonment, although I would not wish that on anybody. It is a very good book. I would highly recommend it. If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you next time.